Welcome to Indy's Real Estate Gurus. We're recording today from the Advisors Mortgage Group studio right here in downtown Carmel, and I'm Rick Ripma, your hardworking mortgage guy. I've been in real estate and mortgages for the last 34 years. I've helped over 5,200 folks finance their homes. My team and I, we believe in custom tailored loans, not the one-size-fits-all approach. We believe there is a right mortgage for you, and we are the team to deliver it.
And I mean, Arnold, part of Rick's hardworking mortgage team. I've been in the financial industry for 15 years, helping people rebuild their credit or even just raise their credit to get a better interest rate. I have a passion in helping you increase your overall wealth and create financial security for you and your family for generations.
And for the most up-to-date information on the Indy's real estate market or the mortgage rates and what's going on in mortgages, go to hardworkingmortgageguy.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguy.com. Or you can go to 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938.
So, Rick, this guy ran through two of our doors. I mean, he busted them down just to get in here today.
Well, we're becoming popular.
I think we are.
Yeah. Or he was mad at us, huh?
Excited.
Yeah, really excited. Yeah, he was excited. There you go.
Wanted to be on the show.
He's superhuman.
He is.
You betcha.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, but what is his name, Rick? Did he tell you?
Yes. But you know I'm terrible at names, but this one is easy.
Okay.
I think I'm going to pronounce this one correctly. Derrick Bailey.
Man, Rick, you freaking nailed that.
I did. You're the second person I pronounced their name right.
Perfect.
Yeah.
John Smith was the other one.
Love it.
I messed up.
Good.
Just so you know. Well, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
And your company is Bailey Homes Group?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yep. Bailey Homes Group. That's me.
Perfect. And where are you guys located?
We are in Indianapolis.
Okay.
I live in SoBro, and my brokerage office is actually in Fishers.
Okay. Awesome. And you do, obviously, Central Indiana.
All over. Yep. So, I mean, Central Marion, Hamilton County is where the most of my business, but I've sold a house an hour in every direction.
Really? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's awesome. And, it's funny in Indianapolis, or Indiana, that the vast majority of our population is right here.
It really is.
Through the entire state.
Oh, yeah. The greater Indianapolis metro is like everything.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't really know what exists outside of greater Indy.
Well, it's funny because most states aren't like that. Most states have, if you think of Ohio, they have Cincinnati and Cleveland. There's probably others.
And
Columbus.
Yep.
Yeah, they got several cities.
Yep.
Indianapolis, we have other decent sized cities.
Yeah.
But we don't have any huge cities. Indianapolis
Nothing even remotely close. Yeah.
So did you grow up here? What was life like for you before real estate?
Yeah, I actually grew up in Northeast Ohio. So yeah, you mentioned Cleveland. We were less than an hour from there.
Okay.
And then I did my undergrad in Anderson. I graduated there in 2008. Okay. And then I moved to Indy, the big city, and haven't left.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
And so you moved here in 2008. And now, as you came, and you were in school in Anderson, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So did you do anything before real estate, or did you go right from college into real estate?
Yeah, no, I did a couple things, actually. I started out in tech support with Apple, and then I moved into retail with Apple, where I was a genius.
You were a genius?
Yes.
Are you still a genius?
I am still a genius.
All right, perfect.
But no, that was an awesome starting ground because I got to just meet so many people. Apple retail, I don't know the last time you were in the Apple store, but it is swarmed with people.
It's too busy. I don't go in there.
Yeah. So
nobody goes there anymore. It's way too busy.
It's really, really busy. Yeah. They've expanded, though, and they've got a lot better at helping people.
Yeah.
But my favorite stat is I love telling people is I got to help over 15,000 people with their devices while I worked there.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Really, really incredible.
Wow. That's a great training ground.
There's no better training ground for just like a diversity of people, a diversity of problems, and just like a sheer number of words, right?
Communicated. Right. Yeah, and learning how to communicate.
You got it.
So now you just sit outside their front door and it's like, hey, look, if you don't want to wait in line, I'll help you, but I'm also going to sell you a home.
That's right. Yeah, I should try that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people there.
There really are.
It is funny because every time you go there, obviously, as you look around here, you can tell I have a lot of Apple products.
Absolutely.
And so I've been at the Apple store, but I really now avoid the Apple store unless you need help. And that's, I think, the big plus with one of the first, I think the product is phenomenal, but the other piece is the help is amazing. If you have Apple Care or any of that, they really
100%. Buy online, get help in person.
Yes.
Yeah.
And whoever's, I'm sure it was Steve Jobs, but whoever did that store, I mean, it just how they set it up to keep it always busy.
Oh my gosh, it is an experience unlike any other.
Yeah.
It is a microcosm. And especially like you talked about Indy being the only big city. So like for the longest time, that was the only store in the whole state.
Oh, really?
So we had people driving 2-3 hours to get help there.
At the Keystone Crossing store?
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I always found it interesting. We'll get off this topic, but I think it's interesting. The Microsoft came in and did their store.
Yes, they did.
And it sat there, and you could walk by it. You could go get help anytime you wanted.
Yep.
They tried everything. They put games out front.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't work.
Yeah. I remember, walking by there on breaks being like, hey-o. There's nobody in here. We got 12 people just standing around.
So you went from that into real estate, or
so then I did another tech company.
Okay.
A SaaS on the northwest side.
Okay.
That was called Moby. They got bought out by this company called Tango. And during the buyout, they let 25% of sales and marketing go over 3 days.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And I was part of that release.
Had you already done the real estate exam, or?
No. So I was building an awesome pipeline there at Moby, and I was very much a shock. But I had this buddy in Miami who was in real estate. He moved from New York to Miami, was just absolutely killing it for 3 years. He was like, dude, why aren't you selling houses? And I lost my job, and I was like, yeah, why aren't I selling houses?
So you got in.
So immediately jumped in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you take like the fast course for get?
Yeah, I did it online, and I think I literally completed it in like 10 days.
Wow.
Yeah. I was ready to go.
Wow.
Why not 9 days?
That's a great question. I was slacking.
That they didn't offer a 9-day course. Okay.
I like to see my girlfriend at the time. How's that?
Yeah. How many hours is it?
That's 90.
90 hours, and you did it in 10 days.
Correct.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, that's incredible. And then where did you go to? When you left, when you came into real estate?
Yeah.
What did you?
Yeah,
how did you pick your office? That kind of thing.
Absolutely. I got started at KW in New Metro Northeast.
So Keller Williams.
You got it, because that was what my dad suggested, who also does real estate.
Oh, does he?
Yeah. And just KW is really good at saying, like, we're not a real estate company, we're an education company. And I think they are a really, really fantastic place to get started. I learned a lot on how to actually do the job. Right. When you take the licensing exam, you don't know anything.
Right. Yep.
So I started at KW. Had a very, very brief stint at Sheets. Just wasn't the right fit for me. Was a little at United for over a year. Love, parted well. But now I'm at Real Brokerage, and it's a really, really, really good fit for me and my team. Yeah. Yeah.
It makes a big difference to find that right fit.
Yes, it really, really does.
So when you got into real estate, how did you get going? What was your processes? What did you do to get your business off the ground?
Yeah, absolutely. Really, it's just a matter of telling everyone. Every good real estate coach is going to tell you, right? Like, tell everyone you know and everyone you don't know that this is what you do now.
Right. Yeah.
But also, I found that I wasn't going to get going fast enough. So my almost first full year in real estate, I joined a high performance team out of that office, the Evelos. Who still do very, very good business. Yep. And I actually worked under one of their top agents, Terrence Perkey, and he put me through the ringer. And in like 7 months, I helped Terrence close 44 homes.
Wow.
Over $7 million in volume.
That's crazy.
And it was just like, that's how I'm going to learn.
Yes.
So I worked ridiculous number of hours with Terrence and the Evelos, and they made sure I knew what the heck was going on. And we got to help a ton of people, and it was awesome.
Yeah. And what is obviously, tell us more about the value of being on, for a new person coming into the industry, the value of being on a very strong team with mentors.
Oh my gosh. Everyone that I talk to, any friends or, relatives, they still hit me up like, hey, I'm thinking about getting licensed. What should I do? That's the first thing I tell them, join a team. Because, well, number one, your friends and family, until you have some experience, honest to God, they're not going to use you, right? They don't want to be your test dummy. And so for some reason, though, people that don't know you are more willing to disregard experience if, like, you just, you make sense to them, right? Like, you listen to their concerns. So a high performance team is able to provide those leads, is able to provide ready clients that are ready, willing, and able. And that's huge. Lead generation is so important that only a big team can provide when you start.
So what's one thing that if you were to change
Yes.
that you messed up begin with that you wish you would have started earlier?
Oh my gosh. Focusing on lead generation. Rick, we talked about this in our prep. It's like a lot of people, when they get licensed, they think like looking at the house or like writing an offer is the job. Lead generation is the job. Okay. Like, successful realtors talk to a lot of people and generate a ton and ton of potential business. And that's what I would have done a lot better when I started out. Yeah.
That's awesome. So did your dad mentor you too? Or was he already being a realtor before you got in?
So actually, I got licensed before my father. He was already flipping homes, though. So I knew a lot about potential value in homes and like what a home should feel like. And I could see the vision for homes that maybe weren't in such good condition. I could kind of sell people on like what it might be. But as far as like the day-to-day activities of an agent, no, but he did introduce me to the top producer that he ended up joining, who was like one of the top 10 in all of Ohio.
Oh, okay.
So I got a couple sit downs with him, and that really helped.
Okay, and he's out of Ohio.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And so he wasn't. You were here in Indy, so you couldn't get listings from your dad.
Correct. Yep. No free help there.
Darn it.
And he had no network here, so that was not happening. Yeah.
And you had been here a while, so you probably had a good network of people.
Yeah, like I said, especially having worked at the Apple Store.
Yeah.
The number of colleagues that already I've gotten to help facilitate real estate transactions.
Right.
Because of that connection. Absolutely.
You felt lots of geniuses.
I did. Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
That's the lead generation is so important, as you talked about.
Absolutely.
And it's always it's something I like to push because it so many people get into the business and they don't realize that that's, like you said, that's the job.
It really, really is.
Right.
Yes.
If you're good at that, everything else you can get somebody else to do.
You got it.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, then let's help them get some lead generation.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Thanks so much for asking. So absolutely, call or text 317-748-0419. Once again, that's 317-748-0419. Whatever you prefer. I do get a ridiculous amount of spam calls, so if I don't answer, please do leave a voicemail. But if you text me, I get back very, very quickly.
I will say those spam calls have gotten annoying the last 5 years.
Yes.
And like even my phone goes, suspected spam. And so I'm like, all right, you're going to voicemail.
You got that right. Yeah.
And Rick, how would somebody get a hold of you or I?
Go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com, or 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938. Is that all you needed?
That's all I needed.
Perfect. Well, you would think I'd be prepared for this, but I wasn't. I was too into the conversation.
We're too excited. That's okay.
I was, yeah.
Happy Friday.
So thanks for listening to Indy's Real Estate Gurus. The gurus we interview share valuable insights. They reveal their strengths, personalities, and how they'll work for you. While we hardworking mortgage guys secure your best mortgage, real estate gurus work hard too. They avoid problems the amateurs don't see. They listen. They find unrealized opportunities. They avoid problems I already said that. They find unrealized. I said that too. If you're buying or selling a home, a real estate guru is a valuable asset. See, this is why I shouldn't read. If you're even thinking about buying or selling a home, keep listening and definitely call one of Indy's real estate gurus.
Yeah. So that sponsor's probably going to go away, but that's okay.
I don't think so. It's us.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to quit sponsoring us. And nor are you, are you?
Probably not.
No, okay, good.
He's still here.
Yeah.
Haven't ran for the door just yet.
Yeah.
So now I'll let Rick, before we get to the question of the week, we'll let Rick go through his favorite question.
Oh yeah, my favorite question.
Uh-oh.
And I know this is one of your favorite because we talked about this.
Yes.
What is your superpower or superpowers?
Oh, yes. Well, it's right here. I'm wearing my wonderful superhuman jacket.
Yes.
And so what that really means is I've dedicated the time to communicate on a level that most people just aren't. I read and listen and understand things that just a lot of people miss. Most communication, obviously, you're only hearing us right now, but 80-90% of all communication is nonverbal. And I've just really taken the time to figure out how to relate to someone. And by using these techniques, I'm able to uncover their real why, what they actually want out of a home, or what their actual dollar is that they need to get out of selling. And I really just take the time to understand them. And it's ridiculous how well it works. When I actually am like, okay, what do we really want? I show so many less homes than everyone else.
That's awesome.
I just had a friend out in Phoenix who was he was telling me how he saw 80 homes.
Oh, wow. You can't keep track of that.
I was literally, I'm not kidding you when I say I almost fell over.
Yeah.
The most homes I've ever shown was 12 to one client.
Wow.
The last closing I had was my 2 pending buyers at this very moment. We saw 2 homes and we saw 5 homes. Because I just get to the heart of what it is that we want. And I communicate in a way where they trust me to actually open up.
Right.
And then I go super mode and I'm like, let's just go get that thing that you really, really want.
Right.
Yeah.
I was in new home sales.
Yeah.
For 11 years. One of the things I did when I was there, we went to the home convention in Dallas.
Okay.
And one of the things that we had available is we could go on a home tour, right?
Sure.
So you get on a bus and you go on a home tour.
Absolutely.
And the biggest thing I learned, it was interesting to see their houses, they're different than ours, things like that. But the biggest thing I learned is after about 4 houses, you can't remember what's what.
You betcha. You betcha.
And so it's extremely valuable.
Yes.
If somebody can help narrow that down so you don't look at so many homes, because they all start to run together.
They really, really do.
It's one of those things most people don't think of, but it is extremely important.
Yeah, my first year, I really remember realizing that very early on. Seeing some of my colleagues, especially newbies, that happens a lot where they let their clients run them, and people get really excited, and I want my people excited. Send me some stuff you've seen online. Maybe I did overlook it, but then what I do differently is I don't just go, they sent me a link, I'm going to schedule it. I look at it and we talk about it. I'm going to go, hey, you told me walk-in closets were super important. You realize none of these bedrooms have any closet space. Why would we waste either of our time going to see this? Oh, well, actually what's really important. Oh, okay. Before you told me that was a deal breaker, right? But this kitchen is such a wow that you're telling me that you might actually buy this home, and then we'll go see it, right? Yeah.
Well, that's good because you set it up.
You got it.
So now they know.
You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also make sure they didn't miss the fact that it didn't have the closets because they were so wowed by the kitchen.
You got it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting. I love the way the mind works or whatnot.
Oh yeah.
And you were in sales with Apple and everything, but you show somebody 10 products, you can't make a decision. People can't make a decision.
Nope.
You show them 2 to 3. It's much easier for them to decide. All right, I like this benefit, or with these negatives and stuff like that.
Correct.
But yeah, the mind showing somebody too much, you just confuse them.
Oh yeah, there's been, like you said, 4. I think that literally is the magic number. There's been a ton of studies on choice fatigue, and anything over 4, we are freaking clueless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going through it, and I had been in new home sales for 8 years.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I wasn't used to looking at houses.
Right.
I was.
Yeah.
But I remember it's I can't remember. And every community has 3 or 4 models. So one community you're
already
out of
at max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're out of space.
Yeah.
All right, so now let's get into the question of the week. And the question of the week is sponsored by, hey, Rick and I, the hardworking mortgage guys, where we believe in helping you and your agent and by keeping you constant updates throughout the whole entire process because you don't want to be left out in the dark. So contact us today and we'll get together and we'll get everything taken care of for you. All right, so the question is, and this will be a hard one, what was your first car?
My first car. Oh, nice. It was a 1986 Honda Accord hatchback, white.
How long did it last?
You could still have it. Those things last.
I know, that's why I asked.
So I got that when I was 16. So it was as old as I was, and it probably could have kept going, but my parents bought me another car when I graduated.
Oh,
so
okay.
I had it for 2 years.
All right.
Yeah.
Do you have fond memories of that car?
Oh, I love that car.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. If you found one, would you buy another just to have it around, or is it not that?
I'm not that attached.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind, like, once my daughter can drive to, like, I think that would be really, really fun to be like, hey, this was what I had. Here's that. If self-driving isn't a thing when she's, we might all be self-driving by the time she's
How old
driving.
is she?
She's only 11 months.
Yeah, so you got.
I hope we have self-driving by then. I'm counting on it because as you get older,
yes,
I love to drive, but I'm telling you what, self-driving car, I hope they have it the next 10, 12 years.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Well, Rick doesn't want his license taken away, so that's the main reason.
I have no problem taking my license away as long as the car drives.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't need my license.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How much more work would we all get done?
Yes.
If we didn't have to focus.
And how great would a trip be?
That's what I'm saying. I just love the prep and the mind space I can get into a car, and if I could be doing other things other than focus on the road, oh man,
it'd be awesome.
I can sit in the back and watch a movie with my kids.
Exactly.
Goodness, I can see how their life is.
Right.
Right there's the difference between you and me and Ian. Okay,
yeah.
We're talking about work.
Right.
Right. We're going to work when we can.
He wants
drive.
to watch the movie.
He's going to watch movies.
Got to enjoy life too.
It is Friday. We'll give him this.
All right, so let's get into. So, how does your team look now?
Yeah. So as far as actual agents go, because team can mean many things, right? So I'll start with just Bailey Holmes Group. At the moment, is just me and one other. It's a guy named Kiefer, really awesome part-time agent. He lives Brookside Park. But really, when I think of team, I think of all the people that I touch, right? Like awesome partners like you guys. I use this other lender, Nick Cleghorn with Annie Mac. We mostly use Chicago Title Company. We mostly use Home Experts of Indiana to rely on our inspections. I use Real Vision to take fantastic listing photos and 3D tours. And it's not like a 3D tour that's like a moving picture gallery. No, it's a truly interactive tour. That's one thing I really love selling. We're only going to have people come do showings that want to see the house. It's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of money. Real Vision is really, really good partner. Yeah.
Well, you're obviously very technical.
Yes, sir.
Right?
You bet.
So, and in fact, I'm guessing there's maybe more story to the superhuman interaction technology.
Yeah.
So how does that play into all that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. I just try to make everything as easy as possible. So the experience is very seamless. I don't know that I have anything that someone would point to and be like, oh, Derrick does this tech thing differently. Literally for the most part, it's like I can write an offer in 7 minutes because I have templates set up.
Okay. Wow.
Because 90% of it's going to be copy and paste, right? And then the 10% that matters on a case-by-case basis, I can have a 5-minute conversation and then put that stuff in, and then we're ready to roll.
Yeah, that's awesome. When you don't have a huge team, time is basically money. It's so important to have those templates ready to go.
Yep.
And like Rick and I, even our email, we have some email templates. I don't want to type the same thing. It takes me 10 minutes to type and then word check and all this stuff. Let's go.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, but it's also important when you have a team as you grow to have you have the processes and everything set up. So you have somebody come in, here's how you do this. Because the reality is, which we already talked about, your biggest job is lead generation.
You got that
right?
Yep.
And so the things that you spend time on, not the things that you like, most people keep those, but the things that you may not like as much, or that you could have somebody else do that aren't lead generation, so you can
Yes.
spend more time lead generating.
Yes.
If you have those processes, and somebody who's been a genius
Right.
at Apple, right? Still is a genius.
Thank you.
And somebody who has that technical background, that can be huge, because you can just plug people in, I would think.
Oh, without a doubt. Because I actually have had more agents before that have just moved away. Did some really good business with this guy, Mike, but he moved to Florida. And
on it.
Right. And then my buddy Eric started his own landscaping construction company. He's building decks, and he does really, really good work there. So I had to let him go because he was doing really great. But they both worked under me, and it was literally plug and play. I'm like, I already got the templates. Hello, templates.
We all can't talk today.
Right? We got the apps that just make our lives easier. There's a lot of real estate technology that only really good realtors have access to. That just is just no brainer nowadays.
Yeah. Plus, you know how to use it.
You betcha.
Because that you can have all the technology in the world, if you don't know how to use it, and most of us we can use it to a point, but we can't use it like you can use it.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. Doing something like you can click around and you figure out in an hour. I know how to do it in 6 minutes. Yeah.
Yes. That's awesome.
Well, here, let's do this.
Sure.
What's the best way somebody can get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Literally texting very, very quickly at 317-748-0419. Or if you do prefer long form, email's okay. Derrick at BaileyHomesGroup.com. That's Derrick, Derrick, at BaileyHomesGroup.com.
All right. And Rick, how would they get hold of your eye?
Go to hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. From there, you can get all of our contact information. Or you can call. This is just a call number, no text. 317-672-1938. That's 317-672-1938.
All right. So, Derrick, you've talked a little bit about lead generation.
Yes.
And you say that's a Hoosier. So for newer agents out there, how do you get your lead generation?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, once you do have some credibility and experience in the market, don't knock just telling your network and telling them more. My first few years, I was extremely hesitant to share and be a realtor. I don't know. I had this weird thing in the back of my head that's associated with other, sales roles I didn't want to think. But no one's ever given me crap for it. And I really, really just love helping people find homes or sell homes. And so just telling my network more and more, I just get referrals. Or someone I hadn't talked to in a while. I'm like, hey, I just make a post. This is what I've been up to. This is what's going on. And it's crazy how many times I've had friends reconnect or reach out and be like, actually, I was thinking about going here or selling here or whatever. And so, once you have the network and the experience, just tell everyone. Facebook and Instagram for sure.
So don't be a secret agent.
Do not be a secret agent.
So when you have even if you're brand new, okay,
Yes.
you're brand new and you don't like you were not wanting to tell everybody.
Yes.
Didn't you find that when you tell people you're in real estate, everybody's interested in real estate, so it makes a conversation, right?
It really, really does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you could even just start talking about everyone, even people who claim that they don't, everyone watches flipping shows, right?
Right. Yeah.
HGTV, I don't know. There's a million shows out there, right? It doesn't matter. There's a different flavor of carriage homes or trailer park homes or whatever.
Beachfront.
It doesn't matter, right? Whatever your flavor is, everyone is watching real estate homes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they're interesting and everybody likes real estate.
Oh, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Real estate's great. And so now you got somebody, they're brand new. They need to tell everybody.
Yes.
But I think the other real value, or one of the big values you have for a new agent, is that if they can come in and they don't have to worry about how to fill out the contract.
Correct.
You've got it all set up.
Oh, yes.
It's like you put just type this here, this
Yes.
here, this here.
Yes. And then ask
That's
me
huge.
about this box and ask me about this box. Otherwise, I think you got it.
Yeah, see, that's
Yeah.
huge.
Well, how dare you make it so easy?
I know, right?
I don't think that's very nice.
Yeah, it's extremely rude of me to just like
Yeah.
make it simple for everybody.
Yeah, but that is I find that to be very interesting that you set that up, and I think it's so valuable to people. So if you're looking for a new hire agents, what do you look for?
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, I will be expanding my team later this year. Business is on track to double.
Wow!
And I've
Congratulations.
actually, thank you so much. I've actually implemented some new ad systems and some back end support to just put more appointments on my calendar. So I'll probably be adding three more people to the team this year. And so, I'm sorry, I don't remember where we were going with that.
What do you look for?
Yes.
When hiring
Yeah.
somebody?
So first and foremost, I mean, it's communication, right? Like, would I want to talk to this person? And are they ready, willing, and able to learn? I know that in my first year, I could have been so much better had I just like left the genius shroud behind and said, in this world, I have no clue what I'm doing, right? And I need help.
Yeah.
And so that's what I really want. Even if it's an experienced agent, I want you to like forget what you've been doing. This really works. Do it my way, or else it's not going to, like,
Right.
Do you want to do it my way? And do I want to keep talking to you?
Yeah,
Right?
right.
Our client's going to be excited to talk to you and to work with you. Like, do you care about people? Do you like homes?
Right.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I find so many people, the people we talk to,
Absolutely.
okay, they all love real estate.
Oh, yes.
Every single one of them. They love real estate. They also love people. I think the biggest thing, you're included, everybody we've had on, they're just great people.
Yes.
Okay. First and foremost, they're great people. And I think that's a big deal.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. There's no way I would hire someone that I like didn't think was actually going to just pour love on our clients. Because that's what we're doing. Like you said, real estate almost comes second. I just want to make people's lives better because I really like people.
Yeah.
And it's way, way more fun when we're all having fun together.
Right.
Yeah.
So if somebody was looking to get into real estate, do you want to talk to them after they've taken the class, or would you rather talk to somebody as they're thinking about whether they should become a real estate agent?
I would prefer day one, like before you even sit down. Because I do have some tips and tricks on, maybe in person versus online, what's going to better fit your learning style. I highly suggest this website, CompuCram. All of my agents, I'm like, get to 80% on that, and you'll pass on the first try, as opposed to I know some people have to take the test like 7 times.
Yeah.
And so I can just really get them set up for success, I think, if we talk before they even go and start the license process. Absolutely.
I think that's a brilliant thing, because that's actually what I did with Rick when I thought about when I was switching jobs and everything, and it made it so much easier. You get to find the ins, the outs. What's the business actually like?
Yes.
You see HGTV.
Right.
Let's be honest. That's totally correct. Everything happens just that way. Yes.
100%.
But you actually get a breakdown. All right, so this is what your average day is doing.
Yes.
This is what you're looking at. This is what you're going to be doing. It's not what you see on TV. So.
Correct. Yep. And yeah, everyone that's excited about real estate isn't necessarily going to be a good fit for this as a career. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what would you say and I know there's probably not a normal day, but a normal day in real estate, what does an agent do on a normal day in real estate?
Yeah. It's really just a lot of communication and a lot of time spent looking at houses. I mean, literally it's those two things. Everything else that I don't have a normal day, right? Some days I have 8 meetings, some days I have 1. But every day I'm looking at the market, and every day I'm checking in on people. Sometimes that's a text, sometimes that's a phone call, sometimes it's an email. But I have 100 conversations every day, and I look at least 100 houses online every day.
Yeah, because you're always looking for what they're looking for, right?
You betcha.
Yeah.
Or, I might even be in between buyers or someone that's, I have some investor clients as well. So there's always just something to look at. But really, even if like, you know, I might know, okay, so-and-so's working on their pre-approval. It doesn't make sense to send them houses yet. I still want to know what the market's doing. And every now and again, I just find a gem that like I can just send out to my network and be like, I know you weren't looking, but this is like a really good deal. Or like, this is so unique, I just thought of you.
Yeah, well, that's great because that gives them some information, which is awesome, but it also tells them you're thinking about them because you are.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and I really am. Yeah,
you really are. It's not
yeah.
fake. You really are thinking about them.
You betcha.
So, what if you had a friend? Let's say they live in Texas. They have a house they want to sell. They call you and say, "Hey, listen, how do I find the best agent to list my house?" What would you tell them?
Oh yeah, I would tell them, let me find the agent for you.
Okay.
I have a really fantastic network. I see your Freedom Club sign. We need to get into that. But the first mentor I ever hired, that's what he called his group.
Okay.
Of rockstar real estate agents was the Freedom Club.
Okay.
Because it allowed us to get freedom, more freedom in time, money, right. All that stuff. And so through that network, I know a ton of agents that have continued and are doing, 2, 3, 5 times my business because they are really, really good at what they do. So at least in, the 100 top metros, I guarantee you I know somebody that I would work with myself if I lived there.
And when they went to meet with that person, what should they look for, questions they should ask so they make sure that they work well with that person?
100%. So, I mean, they just need to be asking themselves, could I see myself talking to this person every day for the next 60 days?
Yeah.
Right? And literally, because if I'm referring them, I know that they're going to do great business, right? So really, it's just a matter of, is this going to be frustrating from a communications perspective, or can we at least be temporary best friends?
Right. So the best thing is to get a referral.
You betcha.
All right. So now Rick asked his favorite question. I'm going to ask mine.
Please.
What do you think your most memorable deal is?
Oh, that's a great question. I have many memorable deals. I'll just talk about the first one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
How about that? My friend Dana, who I worked with at Apple, was selling a house actually in my neighborhood, South Broad Ripple. And she approached me and was like, hey, my boyfriend, she also worked with at Apple, got a job at Apple Corporate in the Valley. She's like, so we're moving. Can you help us out? And I actually got to sell that house to one of my wife's coworkers.
Oh, wow.
In this case, we got a great deal for Dana, but she was less concerned about getting top dollar and really wanted to make a connection and wanted to like know that it was going to someone else that was like excited about living there, right? And could show the house some love that Dana didn't get to spend so much time with. So Emily and her 2 kids now live there, and they're just over the moon. And my wife can walk our daughter to their house, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you brought up something that we've never touched on, but I think we should, and that is, it's not always about top dollar.
It's not. Yeah.
Everybody has their own, and she wanted a connection with the person that was going to live in her house.
Correct.
Right.
She really, really did. And then and I was straight up with her. I was like, this is the most Emily can offer. If we went on the market, we probably could get 10 or 15 more. But this is going to be super easy, and she's really excited about the property. But you tell me what you want to do. Like, I'm here for you.
Right.
Emily's my client as well. Like, I'll go find another home if this doesn't work out. But you tell me. And it was just a total win for everybody. It was so smooth. And she was very, very excited. And even afterwards, she's like, hey, send me pictures of what updates Emily's done. And that I couldn't have done if I brought her another buyer. Right.
Because we get attached to our houses.
Absolutely.
And they matter.
They really, really do.
Yeah. Because they affect our lives so much.
Yeah, and I mean, especially more and more over the last 3 years, right? We find ourselves at like, home is where we are 80% of the time.
Yeah.
And so the home that we end up being in is extremely important.
So how would you describe your brand?
Yeah. Straightforward. That's if I could only give you one word on what Bailey Homes Group is, it's just like I just deliver. Okay, like I promise all my clients I'm gonna always show up on time. I'm gonna do everything I tell you to do. I'm gonna do right. Um, I'm gonna give you extremely honest feedback. Like I don't sugarcoat. I'm not gonna make you feel good about like if you're selling your home and we need to like replace some carpet because we're gonna make like way more money by just like fixing that. I'm just gonna be like, yo, we're replacing the carpet, right? I'm not gonna shame you for the dirt, but like I'm just gonna tell you immediately. Like I walk through a home and I ask, hey, can I just be straight with you? And we're just to the point. So I'm just extremely straightforward. I show up, I do what I say I'm going to do, and I over deliver.
But that's a huge thing. Is a lot of people take that. As long as you're not mean about it, being direct and hey, look, this is what we have to do.
You got it.
People like that because you're not BSing around stuff. You're not hiding in bushes. You're just straight to the point.
You got it. And I think that's even more important on the buying side is like when people come to me and say, this is what we really want. And, like we talked about, we get agreements on that. And then they tell me they only want to spend X number of dollars. I have to then say, okay, are we more concerned about the budget or getting what we want? Because what you want costs a lot more than what you just told me. Yeah. And I don't waste any time with that conversation.
Right. Well, why wouldn't you? What you're doing is you're educating your buyer.
Correct.
So that they have the proper expectations. Because, I mean, I'll relate it to when I've remodeled my house in the last couple of years.
Sure.
Okay. And my hope of cost.
Yes.
Wasn't even close to the real cost.
You betcha. Seen that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just how it is, right?
Yeah.
So you're hoping you're going to get this. And now for me, it was like, okay, so what's another little bit of money to get exactly what I want?
You got it.
Right?
It's almost always worth it.
So then you'd make that, you decide, can you make the trade-off, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they might be able, as long as they're not maxing out, a lot of times they might be able to say, okay, yeah, that is important enough to me. I'm going to raise my budget.
Correct.
Because I can afford to raise my budget.
Yeah.
And other times they can't. But
yeah, and exactly. And sometimes, especially when we're talking about under 300, a lot of times it's like, okay, this is what we can afford. So what are we giving up to still get? I tell my clients we're looking for 7 out of 10, right? If we can get 7 out of 10. And still be excited and say, okay, these are our 3 absolute must-haves, then the other things, we're getting you 3 out of 10 on the must-have 3, and then let's get 4 out of the other 7 and be excited still, right? And it's still a great home that's going to appreciate. We're going to get you some equity, and then we're going to go buy the 10 out of 10.
Yeah, and that's the reason you do it.
You got it.
Right there. You can't stay and rent and get to the point that you can get everything you want.
Not a chance.
And the other thing I've learned, especially out of new home sales, is you can go buy a house, and build it.
Yes.
Ground up.
Yes.
I don't care if it's $1 million house, $2 million house. When you move into it, you're going to find things you wish you had done differently.
Oh, yes.
Every time.
There is absolutely no such thing as a perfect home.
Right. I mean, even though you think you got the perfect, it's not. It's really about, okay, you make it works.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
It is what it is, right?
Yeah, it is what it is. But that's my favorite thing, especially on new builds. So many people come in with that mindset of like, I'm going to get this perfect home and I'm not going to find anything wrong with it. No, it's still built by humans, right? And you're a human, so you're going to just naturally have a reaction that there's something you want to change.
And we can't even think of everything we actually
we don't know what we don't know.
Exactly. And sometimes I think I want something, and then you do it, and you go, man, I wish I had.
Yeah, that was a terrible idea.
What was I thinking? But I'm not a genius.
Hey. No, sometimes still we see houses that we think are going to be an absolute great fit, but that's why we go see it, right?
Yes.
We walk in the door and we go, nope.
Right.
But I'm so glad we came.
Right. Because it helps either way.
Exactly. Hey, worst thing, it just crosses it off the list.
You betcha. Yeah, so still worth it.
What are you most excited about as, in the next 6, 8 months, a year?
Yeah. I mean, as far as real estate goes, historically, April to August has obviously been like, especially in the Midwest, that's when people are buying or selling because the weather's nice and we're going to, hit in between schools and stuff. So I'm just really, really excited for at least a somewhat of an increase in inventory. Most of the city, we're definitely still a seller's market, but more inventory still means at least some more choice. I'm very, very excited for just that increased activity. But I mean, on a personal level, I'm really excited to play music again. My band actually has 4 dates booked this summer. And yeah, we hadn't taken ourselves seriously for a long time, but now we're like, hey, let's get some gigs, and I'm pumped.
Yeah, what's your band?
Yeah, Billy Pilgrim and the Earthlings.
And what do you guys play?
Yeah, it's mostly like jam band covers, some psychedelic rock, and then we're working on some originals right now as well.
I probably shouldn't say, but I have no idea what psychedelic rock means.
That's okay. It's kind of like yeah, it's almost like jazz in that it just kind of goes out there, but it's not as technical as jazz.
Okay. What? Go ahead.
Yeah, no horns.
Okay.
Yeah.
What instrument do you play?
I'm a drummer.
Oh, are you really?
Yes.
Yeah, my nephew's a drummer for a band called Emery.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I've seen Emery live like 6 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
David Powell's
Dave,
he's my nephew.
That's wild.
Yeah.
I love them. Yeah. He's a fantastic drummer. Like, I've played along to his albums.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he's a great guy too. I'll tell you, he is a great guy.
That's awesome. I've only got to meet him in like the hey, thanks for playing the show kind of context.
Oh, really?
Never hung out or anything.
Okay, yeah. If you ever get to, he's just a great guy.
That's awesome.
Wow, really, Rick? You could just be, hey, next time we have you on, we'll invite him over too.
Right?
Come on, Rick.
Okay. Well, are you going to pay to fly in from Seattle?
Oh, he can do it. Don't worry about it. It's for you.
No, I don't think so. Last time he was coming in, the storms were coming, so he didn't come. So
No.
I haven't seen him in quite some time. I talked to him quite a bit, but he's just a great guy. He's just
That's awesome. Side note, my buddy Brian, who I went to Anderson with, he lives out of town now, but he's coming in today. He is the biggest Emery fan.
Oh, really?
Like ever. He's seen them like 12 times, like always pays for the meet and greet and everything. When he hears about this, he is going to lose his mind. So the fact that he's coming today, though, I just like, this is awesome.
The stars have aligned.
Yes. What a happy day.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's so funny. It's when we run it, we get people who have been in music.
Absolutely.
We had, I don't remember his name, but we had a guy that played with David also, and David was in his first band.
That's awesome.
And then he went over to Emery.
Okay.
And he helped him get on Emery.
Yeah.
But we are running out of time, so if somebody need to get a hold of you for any real estate needs or to hire your band,
you betcha.
How should they get a hold of you?
Yeah, my personal cell is my real estate cell. So band or homes, 317-748-0419. Once again, 317-748-0419.
Awesome.
All right, so you're going to shoot a video of you playing, your band
yes.
playing in the house, and the camera going around.
Oh, yeah. It's going to happen. Yeah.
Are you volunteering?
I can do the video. I can't do the other parts.
Hey, that works. That's all we need.
Hey, God made musical talented people, and he made people to clap. I'm the guy that claps.
Me too. Me too. Yeah, I'm exactly the same way.
I love it.
No musical talent. And to get a hold of Ian or I, it's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. That's hardworkingmortgageguys.com. You can just find our contact information there, or you can call us. No text, just call 317-672-1938, 317-672-1938. Almost forgot the number.
I know.
I think I wrote it down over there.
A reminder, if you know any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or refinance, contact Rick or I, and we'll be more than happy to help you.
And follow us so you don't miss any of our shows.
Branch NMLS number 33041. Rick Ripma's NMLS number 664589. Ian Arnold's NMLS number is 1995469. Equal housing opportunity. Some restrictions apply.